Today we're solving one-step equation. We have x minus 3 equals -8. We have to solve for x. To solve for x, our goal is to have x by itself. That means that to have x by itself, we have to get rid of this minus 3. We have to use the inverse operation of minus 3. What is the inverse of minus 3? Plus 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. By adding plus 3, you cancel plus 3. -8 plus 3 is -5. X equals -5. We can check our equation, check our solution by substituting into the original equation. That means -5 minus 3 equals -8. Is this true? -5 minus 3, -8. This means we solved correctly. If we have to solve m minus 10 equals 2, our goal is to have m by itself. The inverse operation of minus 10 is plus 10. What you do to one side, you do to the other. M equals 12. Can we check? M minus 10 equals 2. That means 12 minus 10 equals 2. 12 minus 10 is 2. This means our equation is correct. So we have to solve x plus 5 equals 6. Again, we want x by itself. The inverse operation of plus 5 is minus 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So x equals 1. Can we check? X plus 5 equals 6. 1 plus 5 equals 6. 6 equals 6. If we have to solve 2/3 plus y equals 1/4, we need y by itself. That means we have to do the inverse operation of 2/3. What's the inverse? Minus 2/3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. To subtract 1/4 minus 2/3, we need a common denominator. 3 times what is 12? Times 4. -2 times 4, -8. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 minus 8 is -5, 12. That's equal to. How would we check this equation? Substitute for the variable and check. If we have to solve for x, and we have -x/4 equals 12. What does this fraction bar mean? Division. And what's the inverse of division? Multiplication. So we multiply times -4, it cancels the negative and the 4, and we can do the same to the other side. So x equals -48. Let's check this equation. If we check, we got that x is -48, and we have -x/4 equals 12. That means -48, which is what we got for x, divided by 4 should equal 12. Is that true? A negative times a negative is a positive, so 48/4 is equal to 12. 48 divided by 4 is 12. That means true. If we have to solve n divided by 6 equals 5, what's the inverse operation of division? Multiplication. What you do to one side, you do to the other. N equals 30. If we check, n divided by 6, n divided by 6 equals 5. This means 30 divided by 6 equals 5. 30 divided by 6, 5 equals 5. If we have to solve for a, 3 times a equals 12. What is the inverse operation of multiplication? Division. So we have to divide by 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. A equals 4. Can we check? Yes, we can check every equation. 3 times a should equal 12. Is 3 times 4 equal to 12? Yes. Let's try this again. If we have 20 equals negative 2x, what's the inverse operation of multiplication? Division. What you do to one side, you do to the other. This means that x is equal to negative 10. Can we check? 20 equals negative 2 times x. 20 equals negative 2 times negative 10. Negative 2 times negative 10 is 20. Is this correct? If we have 3/4 times x equals 9, what is the inverse operation of multiplication? Division. Okay, on the side, if we have 1/2 divided by 3/4, what do we have to do when we're dividing fractions? We have to multiply times the reciprocal. So if right here you're telling me that the inverse operation of multiplication is division, and we have this fraction, wouldn't it mean the same thing as multiplying times the reciprocal? And also look at this. If we multiply times the reciprocal, the 4's cancel, the 3 cancel. What you do to one side, you do to the other. X equals 9 to... Can we cross cancel before we multiply across? This becomes a 3. This becomes a 1. 3 times 4 is 12. If we have to solve for m, where we have negative 1/4 m times m equals 8. What is the inverse operation of multiplication? Division. But because this is a fraction, we have to multiply times the reciprocal. Notice that when we multiply times the reciprocal, these cancel out, these cancel out. When we're solving equations, what we do to one side, we do to the other side. Pretend 8 is a fraction by putting it over 1. And we get that m is equal to negative 32.